Daniel chapters 1 to 12. Chapter 1. Daniel is taken to Babylon. 1 In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim king of Judah came Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon unto Jerusalem, and besieged it. 2 And the Lord gave Jehoiakim king of Judah into his hand, with part of the vessels of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar to the house of his God, and he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. 3 And the king spoke unto Ashpenaz the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's descendants, and of the princes, 4 young men in whom was no blemish, but handsome, and skillful in all wisdom, and gifted in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the language of the Chaldeans. 5 And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's food, and of the wine which he drank, so training them 3 years, that at the end of that time they might stand before the king. 6 Now among these were of the children of Judah, Daniel, Ananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, 7 unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names, for he gave unto Daniel the name of Belteshazzar, and to Ananiah, of Shadrach, and to Mishael, of Meshach, and to Azariah, of Abednego. Faithfulness of Daniel in Babylon. 8 But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's food, nor with the wine which he drank, therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. 9 Now God had brought Daniel into favor and kindness with the prince of the eunuchs. 10 And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who has appointed your food and your drink, for why should he see your faces worse looking than the young men who are of your age? Then shall you make me endanger my head to the king. 11 Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Ananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, 12 Test your servants, I beseech you, 10 days, and let them give us vegetables to eat, and water to drink. 13 Then let our countenances be looked upon before you, and the countenance of the young men that eat of the portion of the king's food, and as you see fit, deal with your servants. 14 So he consented to them in this matter, and tested them 10 days. 15 And at the end of 10 days their countenances appeared better and fatter in flesh than all the young men who did eat the portion of the king's food. 16 Thus Melzar took away the portion of their food, and the wine that they should drink, and gave them vegetables. The king finds favor with Daniel. 17 As for these 4 young men, God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom, and Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. 18 Now at the end of the days that the king had said he should bring them in, then the prince of the eunuchs brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar. 19 And the king spoke with them, and among them all was found none like Daniel, Ananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, therefore stood they before the king. 20 And in all matters of wisdom and understanding, that the king inquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers that were in all his realm. 21 And Daniel continued even unto the 1st year of King Cyrus. Chapter 2. Nebuchadnezzar's dream. 1 And in the 2nd year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, by which his spirit was troubled, and his sleep went from him. 2 Then the king commanded to call the magicians, and the astrologers, and the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans, to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king. 3 And the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. 4 Then spoke the Chaldeans to the king in Aramaic, O king, live forever, tell your servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. 5 The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, The thing is gone from me, if you will not make known unto me the dream, with its interpretation, you shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made an ash heap. 6 But if you show the dream, and its interpretation, you shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore show me the dream, and its interpretation. 7 They answered again and said, Let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. 8 The king answered and said, I know of certainty that you would gain the time, because you see the thing is gone from me. 9 But if you will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that you can show me its interpretation. 10 The Chaldeans answered before the king, and said, There is not a man upon the earth that can tell the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, lord, nor ruler, that asks such things at any magician, or astrologer, or Chaldean. 11 And it is a rare thing that the king requires, and there is none other that can reveal it before the king, except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh. 12 For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. 13 And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. God reveals the dream to Daniel. 14 Then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch the captain of the king's guard, who had gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. 15 He answered and said to Arioch the king's captain, Why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. 16 Then Daniel went in, and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. 17 Then Daniel went to his house, and made the thing known to Ananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions. 18 That they would desire mercies of the God of heaven concerning this secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. 19 Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. 20 Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. 21 And he changes the times and the seasons, he removes kings, and sets up kings, he gives wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. 22 He reveals the deep and secret things, he knows what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him. 23 I thank you, and praise you, O God of my fathers, who has given me wisdom and might, and has made known unto me now what we desired of you, for you have now made known unto us the king's matter. Daniel shows the interpretation. 24 Therefore Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, Destroy not the wise men of Babylon, bring me in before the king, and I will show unto the king the interpretation. 25 Then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and said thus unto him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah, that will make known unto the king the interpretation. 26 The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, Are you able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and its interpretation? 27 Daniel answered in the presence of the king, and said, The secret which the king has demanded the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, and the soothsayers, cannot show unto the king. 28 But there is a God in heaven that reveals secrets, and makes known to King Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Your dream, and the visions of your head upon your bed, are these. 29 As for you, O king, your thoughts came into your mind upon your bed, what should come to pass hereafter, and he that reveals secrets makes known to you what shall come to pass. 30 But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than anyone living, but for their sakes that shall make known the interpretation to the king, and that you might know the thoughts of your heart. 31 You, O king, saw, and behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before you, and its form was frightening. 32 This image's head was of fine gold, its breast and its arms of silver, its belly and its thighs of bronze. 33 Its legs of iron, its feet part of iron and part of clay. 34 You saw till a stone was cut out without hands, which struck the image upon its feet that were of iron and clay, and broke them to pieces. 35 Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were crushed together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, so that no place was found for them, and the stone that struck the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth. 36 This is the dream, and we will tell its interpretation before the king. 37 You, O king, are a king of kings, for the God of heaven has given you a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. 38 And wherever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven has he given into your hand, and has made you ruler over them all. You are this head of gold. 39 And after you shall arise another kingdom inferior to you, and another third kingdom of bronze, which shall bear rule over all the earth. 40 And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, since iron breaks in pieces and subdues all things, and as iron that breaks all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. 41 And as you saw the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it the strength of the iron, just as you saw the iron mixed with miry clay. 42 And as the toes of the feet were part of iron, and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong, and partly broken. 43 And as you saw iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the descendants of men, but they shall not hold one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. 44 And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. 45 Just as you saw that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it broke in pieces the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God has made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and its interpretation sure. Daniel is made ruler over Babylon. 46 Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face, and worshipped Daniel, and commanded that they should offer an offering and incense unto him. 47 The king answered unto Daniel, and said, Of a truth it is, that your God is God of gods, and Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, seeing you could reveal this secret. 48 Then the king made Daniel a great man, and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, and chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. 49 Then Daniel requested of the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, over the affairs of the province of Babylon, but Daniel sat in the gate of the king. Chapter 3 Image of Nebuchadnezzar is set up. 1 Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and its width 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. 2 Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the satraps, the administrators, and the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the judges, the magistrates, and all the officials of the provinces, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. 3 Then the satraps, the administrators, and governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the judges, the magistrates, and all the officials of the provinces, were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. 4 Then a herald cried aloud, To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, 5 That at what time you hear the sound of the horn, flute, harp, lyre, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. 6 And whosoever falls not down and worships shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. 7 Therefore at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the horn, flute, harp, lyre, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages, fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. The companions of Daniel refused to worship. 8 Therefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near, and accused the Jews. 9 They spoke and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. 10 You, O king, have made a decree, that every man that shall hear the sound of the horn, flute, harp, lyre, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. 11 And whosoever falls not down and worships, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. 12 There are certain Jews whom you have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded you, they serve not your gods, nor worship the golden image which you have set up. Daniel's companions declare their trust in God. 13 Then Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. 14 Nebuchadnezzar spoke and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do you not serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? 15 Now if you are ready that at the time you hear the sound of the horn, flute, harp, lyre, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if you worship not, you shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace, and who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? 16 Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. 17 If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. 18 But if not, be it known unto you, O king, that we will not serve your gods, nor worship the golden image which you have set up. Daniel's companions are protected in the furnace. 19 Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his appearance was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spoke, and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was usually heated. 20 And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. 21 Then these men were bound in their coats, their trousers, and their turbans, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. 22 Therefore because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceedingly hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. 23 And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. 24 Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spoke, and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. 25 He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt, and the form of the 4th is like a son of the gods. The companions of Daniel are promoted. 26 Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spoke, and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you servants of the Most High God, come forth, and come here. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth out of the midst of the fire. 27 And the satraps, administrators, and governors, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was a hair of their head singed, neither were their coats affected, nor had the smell of fire come upon them. 28 Then Nebuchadnezzar spoke, and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel, and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any god, except their own God. 29 Therefore I make a decree, that every people, nation, and language, who speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made an ash heap, because there is no other God that can deliver in this way. 30 Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, in the province of Babylon. Chapter 4 Proclamation of Nebuchadnezzar. 1 Nebuchadnezzar the king, unto all people, nations, and languages, that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. 2 I thought it good to show the signs and wonders that the Most High God has worked for me. 3 How great are his signs! And how mighty are his wonders! His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. Vision of Nebuchadnezzar. 4 I Nebuchadnezzar was at rest in my house, and flourishing in my palace. 5 I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions of my head troubled me. 6 Therefore made I a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretation of the dream. 7 Then came in the magicians, the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers, and I told the dream before them, but they did not make known unto me its interpretation. 8 But at the last Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belteshazzar, according to the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. And before him I told the dream, saying, 9 O Belteshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in you, and no secret troubles you, tell me the visions of my dream that I have seen, and its interpretation. 10 Thus were the visions of my head in my bed, I saw, and behold, a tree in the midst of the earth, and its height was great. 11 The tree grew, and was strong, and its height reached unto heaven, and its sight to the end of all the earth. 12 Its leaves were fair, and its fruit much, and in it was food for all. The beasts of the field had shadow under it, and the fowls of the heaven dwelt in its boughs, and all flesh was fed from it. 13 I saw in the visions of my head upon my bed, and, behold, a watcher, a holy one came down from heaven. 14 He cried aloud, and said thus, Hew down the tree, and cut off its branches, shake off its leaves, and scatter its fruit. Let the beasts get away from under it, and the fowls from its branches. 15 Nevertheless leave the stump of its roots in the earth, even with a band of iron and bronze, in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts in the grass of the earth. 16 Let his heart be changed from man's, and let a beast's heart be given unto him, and let 7 times pass over him. 17 This sentence is by the decree of the watchers, and the decision by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomever he will, and sets up over it the lowliest of men. 18 This dream I King Nebuchadnezzar have seen. Now you, O Belteshazzar, declare its interpretation, because all the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known unto me the interpretation, but you are able, for the spirit of the holy gods is in you. Daniel interprets the vision. 19 Then Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, was astonished for 1 hour, and his thoughts troubled him. The king spoke, and said, Belteshazzar, let not the dream, or its interpretation, trouble you. Belteshazzar answered and said, My lord, may the dream be for them that hate you, and its interpretation for your enemies. 20 The tree that you saw, which grew, and was strong, whose height reached unto the heaven, and its sight to all the earth. 21 Whose leaves were fair, and its fruit much, and in it was food for all, under which the beasts of the field dwelt, and upon whose branches the fowls of the heaven had their habitation. 22 It is you, O king, that have grown and become strong, for your greatness has grown, and reached unto heaven, and your dominion to the end of the earth. 23 And since the king saw a watcher and a holy one coming down from heaven, and saying, Hew the tree down, and destroy it, yet leave the stump of its roots in the earth, even with a band of iron and bronze, in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts of the field, till 7 times pass over him. 24 This is the interpretation, O king, and this is the decree of the Most High, which has come upon my lord the king. 25 That they shall drive you from men. And your dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make you eat grass like oxen, and they shall wet you with the dew of heaven, and 7 times shall pass over you, till you know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomever he will. 26 And since they commanded to leave the stump of the tree roots, your kingdom shall be sure unto you, after you shall have known that the heavens do rule. 27 Therefore, O king, let my counsel be acceptable unto you, and break off your sins by practicing righteousness, and your iniquities by showing mercy to the poor, if it may be a lengthening of your tranquility. Humiliation of Nebuchadnezzar. 28 All this came upon the king Nebuchadnezzar. 29 At the end of 12 months he walked in the palace of the kingdom of Babylon. 30 The king spoke, and said, Is not this great Babylon, that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power, and for the honor of my majesty? 31 While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to you it is spoken, the kingdom has departed from you. 32 And they shall drive you from men, and your dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make you to eat grass like oxen, and 7 times shall pass over you, until you know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomever he will. 33 The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hair had grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like birds' claws. Nebuchadnezzar is restored. 34 And at the end of the days I Nebuchadnezzar lifted up my eyes unto heaven, and my understanding returned unto me, and I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that lives forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. 35 And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and he does according to his will in the army of heaven, and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can restrain his hand, or say unto him, What do you? 36 At the same time my reason returned unto me, and for the glory of my kingdom, my honor and brightness returned unto me, and my counselors and my lords sought unto me, and I was established in my kingdom, and excellent majesty was added unto me. 37 Now I Nebuchadnezzar praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, all whose works are truth, and his ways judgment, and those that walk in pride he is able to abase. Chapter 5 Belshazzar defiles the temple vessels. 1 Belshazzar the king made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords, and drank wine before the 1,000. 2 Belshazzar, while he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and silver vessels which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple which was in Jerusalem, that the king, and his lords, his wives, and his concubines, might drink from them. 3 Then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of God which was at Jerusalem, and the king, and his lords, his wives, and his concubines, drank from them. 4 They drank wine, and praised the gods of gold, and of silver, of bronze, of iron, of wood, and of stone. Belshazzar sees the writing on the wall. 5 In the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand, and wrote opposite the lampstand upon the plaster of the wall of the king's palace, and the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. 6 Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his hips were loosened, and his knees struck one against another. 7 The king cried aloud to bring in the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers. And the king spoke, and said to the wise men of Babylon, Whosoever shall read this writing, and show me its interpretation, shall be clothed with scarlet, and have a chain of gold about his neck, and shall be the 3rd ruler in the kingdom. 8 Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing, nor make known to the king its interpretation. 9 Then was King Belshazzar greatly troubled, and his countenance was changed in him, and his lords were astonished. Daniel makes known the interpretation. 10 Now the queen, because of the words of the king and his lords, came into the banquet house, and the queen spoke and said, O king, live forever. Let not your thoughts trouble you, nor let your countenance be changed. 11 There is a man in your kingdom, in whom is the spirit of the holy gods, and in the days of your father light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, was found in him, whom the king Nebuchadnezzar your father, the king, I say, your father, made master of the magicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and soothsayers. 12 Because an excellent spirit, and knowledge, and understanding, interpreting of dreams, and solving of riddles, and explaining of problems, were found in the same Daniel, whom the king named Belshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. 13 Then was Daniel brought in before the king. And the king spoke and said unto Daniel, Are you that Daniel, who is of the children of the captivity of Judah, whom the king my father brought out of Judah? 14 I have even heard of you, that the spirit of the gods is in you, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom are found in you. 15 And now the wise men, the astrologers, have been brought in before me, that they should read this writing, and make known unto me its interpretation, but they could not show the interpretation of the thing. 16 And I have heard of you, that you can make interpretations, and explain doubts. Now if you can read the writing, and make known to me its interpretation, you shall be clothed with scarlet, and have a chain of gold about your neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. 17 Then Daniel answered and said before the king, Let your gifts be to yourself, and give your rewards to another, yet I will read the writing unto the king, and make known to him the interpretation. 18 O king, the Most High God gave Nebuchadnezzar your father a kingdom, and majesty, and glory, and honor. 19 And for the majesty that he gave him, all people, nations, and languages, trembled and feared before him. Whom he would he slew, and whom he would he kept alive, and whom he would he set up, and whom he would he put down. 20 But when his heart was lifted up, and his mind hardened in pride, he was deposed from his kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. 21 And he was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the beasts, and his dwelling was with the wild donkeys. They fed him with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the Most High God ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appoints over it whomever he will. 22 And you his son, O Belshazzar, have not humbled your heart, though you knew all this. 23 But have lifted up yourself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before you, and your lords, your wives, and your concubines, have drunk wine in them, and you have praised the gods of silver, and gold, of bronze, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know, and the God in whose hand your breath is, and whose are all your ways, have you not glorified. 24 Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. 25 And this is the writing that was written, tekel, a parson. 26 This is the interpretation of the matter, God has numbered your kingdom, and finished it. 27 Tekel, you are weighed in the balances, and are found wanting. 28 Perez, your kingdom is divided, and given to the Medes and Persians. 29 Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him, that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. Belshazzar is slain. 30 In that night was Belshazzar the king of the Chaldeans slain. 31 And Darius the Mede took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. Chapter 6. Daniel is made president. 1 It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 satraps, who should be over the whole kingdom. 2 And over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the satraps might give accounts unto them, and the king should suffer no loss. 3 Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and satraps, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Darius signs the foolish decree. 4 Then the presidents and satraps sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find no occasion nor fault, because he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. 5 Then said these men, We shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. 6 Then these presidents and satraps assembled together to the king, and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. 7 All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors, and the satraps, the counselors, and the advisers, have consulted together to establish a royal statute, and to make a firm decree, that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, except from you, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. 8 Now, O king, establish the decree, and sign the writing, that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which alters not. 9 Therefore King Darius signed the written decree. Daniel prays faithfully. 10 Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day, and prayed, and gave thanks before his God, as he did before. 11 Then these men assembled, and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. 12 Then they came near, and spoke before the king concerning the king's decree. Have you not signed a decree, that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, except of you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, The thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which alters not. 13 Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, who is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regards not you, O king, nor the decree that you have signed, but makes his petition 3 times a day. 14 Then the king, when he heard these words, was greatly displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. 15 Then these men assembled unto the king, and said unto the king, Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is, that no decree nor statute which the king establishes may be changed. Daniel is delivered in the den of the lions. 16 Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel, and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spoke and said unto Daniel, Your God whom you serve continually, he will deliver you. 17 And a stone was brought, and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet, and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. 18 Then the king went to his palace, and passed the night fasting, neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. 19 Then the king arose very early in the morning, and went in haste unto the den of lions. 20 And when he came to the den, he cried with a grieved voice unto Daniel, and the king spoke and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is your God, whom you serve continually, able to deliver you from the lions? 21 Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. 22 My God has sent his angel, and has shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me, because before him innocence was found in me, and also before you, O king, have I done no wrong. 23 Then was the king exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of harm was found upon him, because he believed in his God. 24 And the king commanded, and they brought those men who had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, them, their children, and their wives, and the lions overpowered them, and broke all their bones in pieces before they ever came at the bottom of the den. Wise decree of King Darius. 25 Then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages, that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. 26 I make a decree, that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God, and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. 27 He delivers and rescues, and he works signs and wonders in heaven and on earth, who has delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. 28 So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius, and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. Chapter 7 The Four Great Beasts. 1 In the first year of Belshazzar king of Babylon Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed, then he wrote the dream, and told the sum of the matters. 2 Daniel spoke and said, I saw in my vision by night, and, behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. 3 And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. 4 The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till its wings were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. 5 And behold another beast, a second, like a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth, and they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. 6 After this I beheld, and lo another, like a leopard, which had upon its back 4 wings of a fowl, the beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. 7 After this I saw in the night visions, and behold a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and broke in pieces, and stamped the residue with its feet, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. 8 I considered the horns, and, behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And, behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. Ancient of Days. 9 I beheld till the thrones were set in place, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and its wheels as burning fire. 10 A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. 11 I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spoke, I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. 12 As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. 13 I saw in the night visions, and, behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. 14 And there was given him dominion, and glory, and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages, should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Interpretation. 4 Great beasts. 15 I Daniel was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. 16 I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the things. 17 These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. 18 But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. 19 Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and its nails of bronze, which devoured, broke in pieces, and stamped the residue with its feet. 20 And of the 10 horns that were on its head, and of the other which came up, and before which 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spoke very great things, whose look was greater than its fellows. 21 I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them. 22 Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Interpretation. The fourth beast. 23 Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces. 24 And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. 25 And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. 26 But the court shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. 27 And the kingdom and dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. 28 Here is the end of the matter. As for me Daniel, my thoughts much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart. Chapter 8. The Ram. 1 In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. 2 And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw, that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam, and I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. 3 Then I lifted up my eyes, and saw, and, behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. 4 I saw the ram pushing westward, and northward, and southward, so that no beasts might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will, and became great. The goat. 5 And as I was considering, behold, a male goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. 6 And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran at him in the fury of his power. 7 And I saw him come close to the ram, and he was moved with rage against him, and struck the ram, and broke his 2 horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. 8 Therefore the male goat grew very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and instead of it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. The little horn. 9 And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which grew exceedingly great, toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the glorious land. 10 And it grew great, even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. 11 Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. 12 And a host was given him to oppose the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it did this, and prospered. Length of the vision. 13 Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint who spoke, How long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice, and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? 14 And he said unto me, For 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Interpretation of the vision. 15 And it came to pass, when I, even I Daniel, had seen the vision, and sought for the meaning, then, behold, there stood before me one having the appearance of a man. 16 And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Uli, which called, and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. 17 So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid, and fell upon my face, but he said unto me, Understand, O son of man, that for the time of the end shall be the vision. 18 Now as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep with my face toward the ground, but he touched me, and set me upright. 19 And he said, Behold, I will make you know what shall be in the latter end of the indignation, for at the time appointed the end shall be. Interpretation of the ram. 20 The ram which you saw having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia. 21 And the male goat is the king of Greece, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. 22 As for that horn being broken, and the 4 that stood up in its place, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of that nation, but not with its power. Interpretation of the little horn. 23 And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors have come to their fullness, a king of bold countenance, and understanding riddles, shall stand up. 24 And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy awesomely, and shall prosper, and thrive, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. 25 And through his cunning also he shall cause deceit to prosper under his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and without warning shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken, by no human hand. 26 And the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true, therefore shut up the vision, for it shall be many days hence. Response of Daniel. 27 And I Daniel fainted, and was sick certain days, afterward I rose up, and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. Chapter 9. Understanding of Daniel. 1 In the first year of Darius the son of Ahasuerus, of the descendants of the Medes, who was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans, 2 In the first year of his reign I Daniel understood from the books the number of the years, of which the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem. Supplication of Daniel. 3 And I set my face unto the Lord God, to seek by prayer and supplications, with fasting, and sackcloth, and ashes. 4 And I prayed unto the Lord my God, and made my confession, and said, O Lord, the great and awesome God, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him, and to them that keep his commandments. 5 We have sinned, and have committed iniquity, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even by departing from your precepts and from your judgments. 6 Neither have we hearkened unto your servants the prophets, who spoke in your name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. 7 O Lord, righteousness belongs unto you, but unto us shame of face, as at this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel, that are near, and that are far off, through all the countries where you have driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against you. 8 O Lord, to us belongs shame of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against you. 9 To the Lord our God belong mercies and forgivenesses, though we have rebelled against him. 10 Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God, to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets. 11 Yea, all Israel have transgressed your law, even by departing, that they might not obey your voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. 12 And he has confirmed his words, which he spoke against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil, for under the whole heaven has not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem. 13 As it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil has come upon us, yet made we not our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities, and understand your truth. 14 Therefore has the Lord watched upon the evil, and brought it upon us, for the Lord our God is righteous in all his works which he does, for we obeyed not his voice. 15 And now, O Lord our God, who has brought your people forth out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and has gotten yourself renown, as at this day, we have sinned, we have done wickedly. 16 O Lord, according to all your righteousness, I beseech you, let your anger and your fury be turned away from your city Jerusalem, your holy mountain, because for our sins, and for the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem and your people have become a reproach to all that are about us. 17 Now therefore, O our God, hear the prayer of your servant, and his supplications, and cause your face to shine upon your sanctuary that is desolate, for the Lord's sake. 18 O my God, incline your ear, and hear, open your eyes, and behold our desolations, and the city which is called by your name, for we do not present our supplications before you for our righteousness, but for your great mercies. 19 O Lord, hear, O Lord, forgive, O Lord, hearken and do, defer not, for your own sake, O my God, for your city and your people are called by your name. Help of the man Gabriel. 20 And while I was speaking, and praying, and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Lord my God for the holy mountain of my God, 21 Yea, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, reached me about the time of the evening offering. 22 And he informed me, and talked with me, and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give you skill and understanding. 23 At the beginning of your supplications the commandment came forth, and I have come to show you, for you are greatly beloved, therefore understand the matter, and consider the vision. Revelation of the 70 weeks. 24 70 weeks are determined upon your people and upon your holy city, to finish the transgression, and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. 25 Know therefore and understand, that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks, the street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublesome times. 26 And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and its end shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. 27 And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the offering to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Chapter 10. Time of the Vision. 1 In the 3rd year of Cyrus king of Persia a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar, and the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing, and had understanding of the vision. 2 In those days I Daniel was mourning 3 full weeks. 3 I ate no pleasant food, neither came meat nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. 4 And in the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, vision of the heavenly messenger. 5 Then I lifted up my eyes, and looked, and behold a certain man clothed in linen, whose waist was girded with fine gold of Uphaz. 6 His body also was like beryl, and his face is the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as torches of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished bronze, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. 7 And I Daniel alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great trembling fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. 8 Therefore I was left alone, and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my vigor was turned in me into ruin, and I retained no strength. 9 Yet heard I the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face, with my face toward the ground. Touch of the heavenly messenger. 10 And, behold, a hand touched me, which made me tremble upon my knees and upon the palms of my hands. 11 And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto you, and stand upright, for unto you am I now sent. And when he had spoken this word unto me, I stood trembling. 12 Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that you did set your heart to understand, and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come because of your words. 13 But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, but, lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I had remained there with the kings of Persia. 14 Now I have come to make you understand what shall befall your people in the latter days, for the vision is for many days yet to come. 15 And when he had spoken such words unto me, I set my face toward the ground, and I became dumb. 16 And, behold, one in the likeness of the sons of men touched my lips, then I opened my mouth, and spoke, and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, because of the vision my sorrows are turned upon me, and I have retained no strength. 17 For how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, straightway there remained no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. Daniel is strengthened by heavenly messenger. 18 Then there came again and touched me one having the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me. 19 And said, O man greatly beloved, fear not, peace be unto you, be strong, yea, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me. 20 Then said he, Know you why I come unto you? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia, and when I have gone forth, lo, the prince of Greece shall come. 21 But I will show you that which is noted in the scripture of truth, and there is none that upholds me in these things, but Michael your prince. Chapter 11. Rule of Persia. 1 Also I in the 1st year of Darius the Mede, even I, stood to confirm and to strengthen him. 2 And now will I show you the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than them all, and by his strength through his riches he shall stir up all against the realm of Greece. Rule of Greece. 3 And a mighty king shall stand up, that shall rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. 4 And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, but not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled, for his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others besides these. 5 And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes, and he shall be strong above him, and have dominion, his dominion shall be a great dominion. 6 And at the end of some years they shall join themselves together, for the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement, but she shall not retain the power of her authority, neither shall he stand, nor his arm, but she shall be given up, and they that brought her, and he that begat her, and he that strengthened her in these times. 7 But out of a branch of her roots shall one stand up in his place, who shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail. 8 And shall also carry captives into Egypt their gods, with their princes, and with their precious vessels of silver and of gold, and he shall continue more years than the king of the north. 9 So the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return into his own land. 10 But his sons shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces, and one shall certainly come, and overflow, and pass through, then shall he return, and be stirred up, even to his fortress. 11 And the king of the south shall be moved with rage, and shall come forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north, and he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand. 12 And when he has taken away the multitude, his heart shall be lifted up, and he shall cast down many 10,000s, but he shall not be strengthened by it. 13 For the king of the north shall return, and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former, and shall certainly come after certain years with a great army and with much equipment. 14 And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south. Also the violent men of your people shall exalt themselves to fulfill the vision, but they shall fall. 15 So the king of the north shall come, and cast up a siege mound, and take the most fortified city, and the forces of the south shall not withstand, neither his choice troops, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. 16 But he that comes against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him, and he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. 17 He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him, thus shall he do, and he shall give him the daughter of women, to destroy it, but she shall not stand on his side, neither be for him. 18 After this shall he turn his face unto the coastlands, and shall take many, but a ruler for his own behalf shall bring the reproach brought by him to cease, with his reproach removed he shall cause it to turn back on him. 19 Then he shall turn his face toward the fortress of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall, and not be found. 20 Then shall arise in his place a raiser of taxes in the glorious kingdom, but within a few days he shall be destroyed, but neither in anger, nor in battle. 21 And in his place shall arise a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of royalty, but he shall come in peaceably, and seize the kingdom by flatteries. 22 And with the force of a flood shall they be swept away from before him, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. 23 And after the league is made with him he shall work deceitfully, for he shall come up, and shall become strong with a small number of people. 24 He shall enter peaceably even into the richest places of the province, and he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers, he shall scatter among them the plunder, and spoil, and riches, yea, and he shall devise his plans against the strongholds, but only for a time. 25 And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army, and the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army, but he shall not stand, for they shall devise plans against him. 26 Yea, they that feed of the portion of his rich food shall destroy him, and his army shall be swept away, and many shall fall down slain. 27 And both these kings' hearts shall be to do evil, and they shall speak lies at the same table, but it shall not prosper, for the end shall yet be at the time appointed. 28 Then shall he return into his land with great riches, but his heart shall be against the holy covenant, and he shall work his will, and return to his own land. 29 At the time appointed he shall return, and come toward the south, but it shall not be like the former, or like the latter. 30 For the ships of Kittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved, and return, and rage against the holy covenant, so shall he do, he shall even return, and show favor toward them that forsake the holy covenant. 31 And forces shall appear on his part, and they shall defile the sanctuary fortress, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall set up the abomination that makes desolate. 32 And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flattery, but the people that do know their God shall be strong, and take action. 33 And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by plunder, many days. 34 Now when they shall fall, they shall be aided with a little help, but many shall join to them with flattery. 35 And some of them of understanding shall fall, to test them, and to purify them, and to make them white, until the time of the end, because it is yet for the time appointed. The willful king. 36 And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself, and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak astonishing things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the wrath is accomplished, for what has been determined shall be done. 37 Neither shall he regard the gods of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any god, for he shall magnify himself above all. 38 But in their place he shall honor the God of fortresses, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold, and silver, and with precious stones, and pleasant things. 39 Thus shall he do in the strongest fortresses with a foreign god, which he shall acknowledge and advance its glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. 40 And at the time of the end shall the king of the south attack him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, and with horsemen, and with many ships, and he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass through. 41 He shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom, and Moab, and most of the children of Ammon. 42 He shall stretch forth his hand also against the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. 43 But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall follow in his train. 44 But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him, therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy, and to utterly sweep away many. 45 And he shall plant the tents of his palace between the sea and the glorious holy mountain, yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Chapter 12. Great time of trouble. 1 And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which stands for the children of your people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time your people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. The resurrection. 2 And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. 3 And they that are wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Sealing of the book. 4 But you, O Daniel, shut up the words, and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Questions concerning the great time of trouble. 5 Then I Daniel looked, and, behold, there stood 2 others, the one on this bank of the river, and the other on that bank of the river. 6 And one said to the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, How long shall it be till the end of these wonders? 7 And I heard the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swore by him that lives forever that it shall be for a time, times, and a half, and when he shall have accomplished the shattering of the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. 8 And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? 9 And he said, Go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. 10 Many shall be purified, and made white, and refined, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. 11 And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. 12 Blessed is he that waits, and comes to the 1305 and 30 days. 13 But go you your way till the end, for you shall rest, and stand in your allotted place at the end of the days.